Here we go, take 3. Someday I should do a blooper video, you know, all the ones where something happened and you had to shut it off and start over again, because this is take 3. Because I had a tickle and I didn't have any water here, so now I have one in case it happens. And today we are going to talk about staking our orchids. Now, in the excuse me, in the past, when I've had your normal porcelain orchid pots, I could not see where the roots were. In the traffic cones, I couldn't see where the roots were. And with the traffic cones, Jack had soldered onto one of the wires onto clamp so I could do that. So I have a few choices of what I use here, things I've been saving, straight sticks, ones with curves. And now that I have the glass vases, I can see the roots, most of them, the ones along the edge, which is where I'm going to go. I don't have a cold, but I think I'm not talking enough, and then I go to talk and I can't talk because it's been quiet around here. So then do not force your stakes. If you're new, do not force them. These are very crisp. I don't know what to compare them to, but they break very easily. So if I was to put the stake on this side, now over here might work. Like if I was to stick it down here, that part would slowly grow. Or if I was to stick it over on this side somewhere, that might go down to better. So when you're putting your stake in, you want to try and put it in a way that you can see you aren't going to have to bend the stake. These bend. This is what you want to bend. You don't want to bend the stake. So if I just turn this way and go between these leaves, I'm trying to decide which leaf. Maybe the one where it's coming out of. So let's see. If I was to go down there, I can, it's very tricky. I don't want to hurt any roots. So I can slowly, oh yeah, you see, I can watch it going down, 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 and that way. And there's one little root there that's kind of in the way. And you want to get it firm enough down, far enough down that you've got some strength. That's not going very good. I'm going to pick another spot. It is helping with the glass, that's for sure. Okay, let's see if we can go down, down, down. Oh, that's looking better. There we go. So we have a stake in, and we can turn it now. And then, how far? I cannot do that, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let it just bend this a little bit. And I have a whole bunch of, you know what, some of these at the thrift store, rather than if you can't afford or don't have the proper clips, then you can take these little kids ones or people ones. When my hair was longer, I used to use it, you know. Now it's just thin and short, and that's how it is. Now, I think I should put a bigger one there. There's a nice butterfly. Now, can I? Yes. There we go. And I'll show you a close-up of that later. Now, it'll be a lot easier as it grows to get it to come up and go around. And so, if you start too soon, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. And I've got some lots in spike that are very short, some even not that far along. And I thought, geez, they're getting long. I better, if I'm going to do it, do it. Because otherwise this will be over here. This way it's got a little more protection. Even if I bump it on something, it's less likely to break. And then I can slowly move this up, or as it starts to grow, it'll get used to being there. So this one can go back in the window, and then I'll be showing you an orchid tour when I get them all back in place, because I've got some things flowering. I've never had flower on my own before. My oncidiums, one of my oncidiums has started to open. It's got lots of spikes, and I've been enjoying the oncidiums so much because the greenery on them is so nice, even when it doesn't have flowers. And it's Rosemary had bought them for me a year ago now, and they had flowers on them, and here we go. I'm getting flowers. There's one that doesn't have any spikes yet, but it was the last one I got from Rosemary and had bigger flowers. So I've still got my fingers crossed for that one. So I know this one's okay, so I'm just going to quickly take it to the window so I don't go knocking anything I shouldn't. There. Oh boy. There we go. There. I'll slowly be watching them as they grow. Now this one's even longer, but you know what? I can bend it a little bit, and I'm thinking if I went right down here, I can't go that way. I might just go maybe over here because it's kind of leaning this way, and to bend it back, I don't want to break it. We're going to have so many flowers, so let me see. Yes, I think that would be best, and probably another one of these. That's a long one, but that should be pretty good. And if I go over this way, when it's in, I think we'll be okay if we do that. So if I go here, but then I have to turn it so that I can make sure I don't get a root. There we go. Some of them are just sliding over where the roots are. And this one's got some lava rock on the bottom, and I've hit the lava rock. It is not going to go any further. I would like to. This is what you go through when you're picky. I'm not a picky person, honest. Where's my babies? Okay. I'm trying to get it where I'm going to miss that lava rock on the bottom. It's quite a big chunk. There we go. We did it. We did it. Okay. So, now the lucky part is we can turn that, and I think, and I do make sure, you know, if you're looking for plants, these big hair ones, they're really good when you're getting it used to just growing on the stake, because they're bigger and you can clamp further away. See, now I will slowly get that to go. So this is the orchid from the plastic bottle experiment. I don't know if you remember, I had 2 plastic bottles, 2 orchids, and I didn't like they were growing fine. I had got them in moss, put them in bark, put them in the plastic bottle, and grew them the same as usual. But the plastic bottles were flimsy and kind of awkward, so In the end, they had done good. This one had had beautiful flowers, I remember. Now it has a lot of leaves, and it seems to be doing very well. So I might be able to put a second clamp on this one. So when you get one going one way, very carefully you get one going the other way. There, you can see how this one will slowly come along, and it will go quite, so it's a little extra protection for your orchid. So I'll put this one back so that when we do our video, they're in place. There. Now this pot I've had for years, and I did repot it once. You know, they say how often to repot. Well, it depends on how you grow. If your orchids are always moist, they're probably going to deteriorate in the medium a lot quicker than if you grow on the dry side. Now, I grow on the dry side, and watering day is Wednesday, and when we do our tour of the orchids, you'll see the roots on the top look dry, the bark looks dry. Now, sometimes because of winter and your furnace is on all the time, sometimes I mist. Not overly much, but just enough on the top and the roots that are all out like this one is. And yesterday I did have the misters on. Today I don't always put them on. And I could, but I didn't today because I was busy. And also, always look for your orchid. If you see any sticky spots or shiny spots, then be on the lookout for scale or something, because sometimes you can just feel along the edge of your orchid and with your fingers, and you can feel if there's something there. But sometimes I'll take a little wet paper towel, because when they're in the window and the lights are on, you can see better than sometimes you might miss when you're watering. And if you see something, then just look when your lighting's really good and try and go in there and find what the culprit is. And it just might be some love juice or something. Is that what you call it? But anyway, it's like honey anyway. So it might be that. Now, this one, I haven't repotted in a lot of years. And a lot of the roots are outside, and you can see this stem has gotten quite long. Plus, it's way down inside. I mean, as you know, when your orchid's getting older, that monopodial stem's getting longer and longer. And pretty soon, you're going to have to repot it and get it lower in the pot. But you'll see I've got some real long ones, some of my traffic cones. So this one, I cannot put a stake in this, and I wouldn't feel good about it. And this is very firm, very firm. So I have a couple clamps. This is a kind of small one, and it might be all I need. Let me see if I can get this. And then the good thing is you can, so if you have a pot like that, maybe you can get this is just the little wires that the orchids could come with. And then Jack's just wired them on to the handle of one of the sides, and it works quite well. I've been using these for ages, and yes, they get a little rusty, but they do their job. They do their job. There. There. See, anything to get it so that when I'm watering and carrying them around, I'm not doing damage. Now let's see. And the funny thing is that once you get it sort of in place, you do get so that you can straighten it up later. So this will help, and then I'll slowly try to straighten it out as you know, as it gets used to being there. I don't know how your weather is, but we've had a beautiful few days, and we've had very little rain. If we look out at our lake, it's very shallow all around town, which is further this way, and it's very dry. It's been very dry, but nothing like Europe, or nothing like Italy or Spain or anything like that. But for here, like our summers are very hot, like almost like some of those places, but then we get the winter cool down and time to do all our hobbies. So I'm going to get these in place. We got 2 more to do. There. Okay, now, all right, this is awkward. Maybe, let me move the chair. Now this is a traffic cone that I decided years ago to put 2 orchids in. And both orchids are in double spike. So this one on this side, maybe I can put it on the chair. Let's put it down there. Okay, this orchid on this side has 2 spikes almost the same size. This one has the one that started, but it has another one a couple inches higher. So I just don't know what I'm going to do here. And there's so many roots, and I would like to get something in here. Let me see. I have another clamp. See, this is only going to hold 1. This one, if this one will, oh boy, I just got too many roots. I don't even think I can get the clamp on. So, see, there's no way. There's no, oh, maybe I can try. Nope, there's no way. So I'm going to see what I can come up with for this one. I always have to be so careful of the traffic cones. So we'll put this one over here and you'll have a better look at it when I do that. There. Wow. Okay. Now, I know you're not seeing all of me, but I'm not that interesting to see all of me anyway. Okay, here we go. We have 1 more here. And, see, now there is a little scale. Now there is the other thing when, if you think there's some scale around, even though there's no flowers yet, watch those little rascals, because they could, you know, they could, they're after sweet things. So when it starts to spike, they will climb up looking for a flower. And we want to get them before that. And I found when I have been having them outside, where they've been outside all summer, I have to be a little more careful on my hunt at this time of the year because they do pick up things in the air, and always being careful is the best way to go. Always being vigilant. And I did see some sticky stuff on here. And another place to look, if there's an old injury, like you've hit it on something and there's a dent or any old injury will attract little rascals too. Anywhere where they can be closer to the juicy stuff. Now, can I or can't I go in here? You know what? I think I can. I think I can get that clamp. Maybe. No, it's not the right shape. Not the right shape. I always have trouble with the traffic cones. You know, they're awkward. I have to, there's a little one. I have to get them in the shower. And Jack's shower, it's old. It's like a bathtub with a shower. So I got to lift it up and then get it in that hole. And it's always tricky when you got spikes. And sometimes what I do is I get the wire. One like that might work. I forget what that was in, but it has this little shovel on the end. And if I go between the traffic cone and I can maybe wire that on to, I won't do it yet because I'll have to wire it good and strong, and that's probably what I'll do, is I'll end up wiring to the outside because I really don't want to hurt the roots. So this one is in the living room window, so I'm going to take it in there and then I'm going to take you for a little tour. So, move my chairs. I thought I'd sit at the dining room table because it's a little bigger. It actually gets really big if you need to, thank goodness. Okay, I'm just going to pop this one back. There, I'm just going to turn the lights on that I use. On a dull day, I'll have them on. Make sure your orchids are getting lots of light. On a dull day, I'll have them on. And they're LEDs, so they're not really expensive. Jack always tells me that. Carolyn, don't worry. It's not. Just be careful how I do this. Okay, let's look in this window first. I do have my little African violets growing here. I never did separate them. They're all crowded in there. And so they're doing okay. That was Mom's, and it was downstairs for so long and never flowered, and I brought it up. So I've never really had African violets before. So now this one here has a little spike coming there. Right there. This is the one, this was the first glass I did, but I took the orchid out of this glass, and you'll see where it is now. And I put this one in, and it was one that had a big fall, and a lot of the leaves got damaged, but the new leaves have come, and they're doing good, and it is going to flower. So it wasn't that long ago I repotted it in that vase. So, and this is one of my older orchids, and it's in spike. And up here, this one is in spike. And this is Georgia Pearl, And she is in spike too, and I'm not sure if you can see it. So I'm not sure if this one was or not. So I do have some misters here, and I run them not every day, but quite often. So this is a little traffic cone, and it has a little spike. And over here, this orchid has a spike, and this orchid has a spike. And I think we have one here too, but it's very small. And what I did with this orchid that's mounted, I've had years and it's never done anything, and I tried different things. Well, I got it in a fish with water underneath instead of misting. So, and here we have some growth there and some growth in there. And we did have a flower, and there is a little spike on Sherry. It's got 2 leaves. I wish it would get another leaf, but it is going to flower, Sherry-Anna. Okay. Okay, here's the oncidium I got last year from Rosemary, and it's just opening some flowers now. They're just starting to open. And I had this mister going yesterday, so it was loving that. And I wanted to show you, Jack put new LED lights up here, so it's nice and bright. And I have some on the side here. And these aren't as bright, but those I've had for years. So I can use them all, and they get lots of light. So this is the one we just put in, and I think we'll be okay. I can't bend it yet, but I will be fixing that. And this one here, it has a spike somewhere in there. And this is the double orchid. So it has those 2 spikes. And then this one, which is real big, and another one coming. It's amazing. This is the orchid that was in my first one I ever did in glass. And it was getting too many roots, and I took it out. And last year it flowered almost all year on the old spike and new spikes. And I thought, oh my goodness, it'll probably take a break. But no, it has a spike coming. Just amazing. And this was the wider pot I gave it because it had more roots. And this is the other one. This one should go quite nicely there. And most of these, this one here has a spike back in there. And this one we just did. So I have started some. And this one has a spike too. Oh no, it doesn't. That's a root, or is that a spike? That might be. This is the one I just repotted, that one of my last orchids I got in moss, and it still is part moss, so I don't think it's flowering all spiking. And we have a spike back there too. So, but lots of light really helps those spikes get up and grow. So you can grow away from your window, but I really like to be near the window. When it gets really cold, then I have to back them off a little from the window to the warmer part of the house. Put the blinds down if I have to, but seems to work good with this west window in the winter. Seems to work very good. Okay, now into the next room. Okay, maybe I should put a light on here. Okay. My cactuses are doing good. And this one, that's how big it was. See that little bump in the bottom when I first got it? Look at this. Look at that. It's grown so much. So this is the orchid I just had in there with the big spike. I have to do something with it. And this is the Oncidium. I'm waiting for spikes to come because it was so beautiful, but it was one of the last ones I got it. And this one here is going to flower. So I'm happy about the Oncidiums. And now this is the orchid that broke off for some reason. All the leaves came and I did not want to lose it. It had such beautiful flowers. And if you look in here, there's a spike coming right in here. I'm so happy. That is a basil keiki with the spike. And this is the old plant right here. So they are in traffic cones. All these are in traffic cones. And you can see the age. You can see the plant has been growing and growing up, 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 up. Plus what's in the ground. It's just kept growing and growing. But one of these days, probably something will have to be done. I have cut some off and put them further in the pot. This one's kind of good because it's doing the same thing and it's getting more roots, but the traffic cone's lower, so it's holding things up. So that's about what's happening here. I usually turn this light on too. There. And she kind of gives them some extra light. And at night, because we watch TV in here, I don't have the light on at night, but in the kitchen, all of those orchids. And I think there's a couple little spots where I saw flowers starting here on these. I know I saw it. Yes, here. Anywhere there wasn't a flower before, you could still get a flower. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and leave a comment, share how your life is going with me. Bye for now.